I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves supporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, 1-1 on the night, 4-3 lost on penalties. They're out the Carabao Cup. Sum that up.
Well, it was a game of two halves, if I can use the cliche. In 90 minutes, Wolves looked totally outsorted in the five-back formation. Didn't look comfortable in possession. Didn't look comfortable defensively out of possession. Couldn't get the ball down in midfield. Couldn't make the ball stick going forward. And then, ironically, created two huge chances at the end of the first half, which I think both should have been scored really by Raul and Hwang. You go into the second half, they make a change. Ruben comes on for Guedes, who unfortunately was very poor again tonight. And Neves comes on. They change the system to a back four, and they look a lot more comfortable, confident in possession. Núñez has more freedom, I think, in midfield. I think the space opens up for him there, and he had an excellent second half. Mateus Núñez did, and Wolves looked like the better team and could have won it in that second half. It was a brilliantly worked goal. Hwang flicking to Núñez ball out to Cunha on the right, and then the pass or the cross rather into Jimenez was absolutely superb, and a great finisher and positioning from Raul to be there in the first place. And Wolves could have won it at the end. Adama came on. I didn't think he was quite urgent enough. His intensity wasn't quite there when he got the ball, and Wolves let a few chances go. And then when it comes down to penalties, it's a lottery. Wolves had a chance with the first one saved from Surridge. Sarr made an excellent save. Neves then misses his, and it's just the way penalty shootouts go.
Look, you go back to the start of the game, you go back to team selection, and a few people were a little bit concerned. And look, they were poor on the pitch. You're right. You mentioned there were 2, 3, 4. I mean, I said at half time he could have hauled 7 or 8 of them off.
Yeah, agreed.
Ruben Neves needs a break at some point. He needs a break, but look, he comes on, he transforms the game. And how bad they were the first half, they should have gone ahead 2-1, and they pretty much dominated that second half for me. Apart from a few breakaway chances, and I know they hit the inside of the post, but which would have been an own goal. But really, they've dominated that game when they look at it, and they should have won the game in the 90 minutes. Like you say, when it comes down to penalties, it's lottery, and they're on the wrong side of it, and all the more frustrating because the teams that have gone through tonight. And it was a real opportunity. Look, the bigger game is Saturday, of course it is, but when you put yourself in a position like that, it must be very frustrating for everyone concerned.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Because this is a chance to get into your first semi-final since 1980, and Wolves won it that year.
League Cup.
In the League Cup, yeah, of course, and Wolves won it that year. So it's a massive opportunity that's gone begging, and I don't think anyone will. But you can't place any blame at Joe Hodges' door.
No.
He's a 20-year-old midfielder who I think has been superb, and he was excellent. I think he came on actually later on today as well. Broke up the game really nicely in the latter stages. And unfortunately, well, first of all, actually, he's got the bottle to go up and take the penalty. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he has it saved. Neves, who we all know is a world-class player, had his saved as well. It's no slight on Joe as a player. Fair play to him for stepping up, and the players rallied around him at the end. It's just unfortunate to see some of the unsavoury scenes on the pitch.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. Raul Jimenez wasn't on the pitch, of course, as the main penalty taker. You can kind of understand that with his fitness situation. A few people are saying on social media, well, why would you not have your best penalty taker on the pitch? He came off at 75, but that's key. And look, Saturday's a bigger game, and you've got to think if Diego Costa's not fit, wasn't in the squad tonight, he's probably going to be starting on Saturday. So
particularly if Cunha isn't ready to start. So
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, I thought they worked together quite well as a partnership as well, which was a good thing. The good thing about, and I think sometimes Raul Jimenez gets a lot of stick, and I understand that, and some of it's warranted, I get recently, but he is Wolves' most threatening player to score goals in this squad. He remains that player. You look at the chances tonight, you look at Hwang to Jimenez to Hwang, Cunha to Jimenez tonight. It's always Jimenez, so he is that focal point whether you like it or not, and we've got to keep on backing him. I think the fans did that tonight. I'll go to penalties. We've got to talk about Gibbs White, because he's obviously giving it to the fans. I mean, fans are giving it to him, quite rightly so. He's decided to have that celebration, whether or not it's the right thing or not. Then Morgan Gibbs White will be the only person to tell you that.
Yeah.
However, Cunha's come on afterwards, scored the penalty, and done the same celebration to the Forest fans. It's all seems to have kicked off and revolved around that afterwards. That's what a lot of people are going to be talking about. There's a big melee at the end. Cunha, Gibbs White to be pulled away by Adama Traore and Totti Gomez. I know who's winning that fight, by the way, and it's not Morgan Gibbs White, but it was a bit unsavoury, and for Gibbs White, he's kind of taken the shine off the situation himself by reacting like that. Very, very silly, very, very petty, and unnecessary.
Yeah, look at the difference between Willy Boly scoring his non-celebration and then Morgan.
Great shot.
I'll leave people to make their own conclusions by bringing that comparison up.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, I don't mind either player, Cunha or Gibbs White, giving it a little bit to the fans. They get loads of stick all the time. Why not? I've got absolutely no problems with that at all.
Well, he's rattled,
what I don't like is is on the pitch afterwards. Now, I can't accuse one side or the other of starting it, because I actually was looking down at my laptop at the time, looked up and saw it all kicking off, so I don't know where it started or why it started. I think it's clearly to do with the celebration. Considering
tempers and emotions are high that time, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Probably said something. You know, we're not going to, probably won't get to the end of it, and I'm sure they'll dumb it down, and you know, no, I don't think there's any retrospective action or anything like that. But heat of the moment, but at the same time, it makes it look a bit silly. So.
Yeah, well, when something kicks off, he's normally involved.
Yeah, let's put it that way. One thing that I want to go back to is Nunes in the box there.
Yeah.
His boots come off. He's obviously been fouled. We've seen the replay. I've seen the replay as well. It's a penalty for me. It is a penalty.
It's very much in terms of a referee, you know, at full speed, it's very much 50-50, I think. But watching the replay, I think if VAR was here, ironically,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, whether it's not given or not, you know, I thought it took a while to go down. But when you see the replay, 100%, and for me, if VAR was here tonight, of course it's not. Of course it's not. That's going to get overturned, and Wolves get a 2-1 win because and the domination in the second half is rewarded. It's not been. They're not getting the rub of the green. And I know this will be a small consolation to people watching this video. If they don't get the rub of the green that they didn't on Saturday at Liverpool, if they don't on Wednesday, we'll swap it all for 3 points on Saturday, and that's the biggest one. And when you see the team that you picked tonight, and you see the sort of players that are on the bench, you've got to think that although of course we wanted to win tonight and those players came on, there's got to be an eye on Saturday's game being the most important.
Absolutely. Wolves know that their bread and butter this season is staying in the Premier League, without a doubt, and it will feel a lot better tonight if they go on and win on Saturday against West Ham. And look, it's not going to be easy against them by any means. They're down there struggling, but they've got a lot of very good individual talented players, and we'll have to be on it. As you rightly say, in terms of the team selection, we expect it to be full strength as it would be in the Premier League, and probably 6 or 7 changes to the side, the likes of Collins, Bueno, Neves, all from the start, and a few others. So it's a real big opportunity again for Wolves. It's been a big week in terms of the fixtures they've had. They've not come out on the right side of them by hook or by crook, whether it was their fault or not. But it all comes down to Saturday, I think, at Molineux. And the fans at the moment can see the progression that the team's making in performances. This first 45 minutes here today was the worst I think they've probably been under Lopetegui.
Agreed.
And they countered that with an excellent second half. Now, you take from that what you will, but I think you have to take the positives from that, because they've been excellent for the last couple of games. And there's a lot more to come, I think, from this team, and particularly when you add players to it this month as well.
Look, they're going to be down a little bit in there, of course they are, and it's going to be about Lopetegui and his stuff getting them back up again. What they have done, and what I'm a little bit worried about, but like I say, I think Lopetegui, because I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think he's absolutely brilliant coach, brilliant manager to have at this helm, and that's why I'm confident Wolves will stay in the Premier League this season. But what he's going to have to do is, these 2 games, this game here, I know it's only 90 minutes, but then penalties as well, Saturday, 2 emotional games, 2 energy-sapping games. So to get that 3rd game in a week now being the most important, they've got to get up for that now. You'll have a rest day tomorrow, they'll do a warm-down tomorrow, then you've got Friday, and then all of a sudden you're back onto it on Saturday. You know, there's not a lot of time there, so it's about getting the team right, getting their attitude right, and picking the right team, not only just I'm certainly play a 4, it's not going to be a 5, formation-wise, but also mentality-wise, because that's going to be key.
Yeah, absolutely. I think changing to a 4 will be a massive part of that, because they look really uncomfortable in the 5 tonight, which is ironic because of the way that Wolves under Nuno came through into the Premier League, utilising the wing backs. Wolves do not look like a team who can utilise wing backs at this moment in time at all. Again, ironically, considering Semedo and Aït-Nouri have done that plenty of times. So I think change back to what they know in terms of this season, and certainly under Lopetegui. And I think they've got a very good chance on Saturday. And then we'll forget about this.
We will.
And the Morgan gives
forget about you.
But you wouldn't do that.
No, never do that. Forest 1, Wolves 1, 4-3. Defeat on penalties, not to beat. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandStar.com.